channel. As said in the previous episode, as you saw, I moved out of my my home. I'm in a temporary location at the moment, so I'm using basically the bottom half of someone's garage just so I can work on the bikes and just potter and just tinker with a few bits and pieces and still put out some videos. So what I'm going to do, obviously I don't really have a great deal of tools with me. Everything I have at the moment is in storage. I bought bare necessities of tools. I'm actually going to go, and I had a lot of emails that basically people were saying that I really couldn't do this, and since watching you it's given me the confidence to actually have a go, which is fantastic. I've had quite a few messages and quite a few emails, various people that have said that. And that's what the basis of this channel is all about, is to help people to learn. I learn. I hope I can help people. So what we're going to get up to today is, obviously, sometimes you don't just want to work on your own bikes when they don't need working on. So I found a practice that I've done in the past and I'm going to do again, is I'll buy in second-hand old parts cheaply and try and refurbish them, and it helps my skills and it helps me learn. And so that's what we're going to do today. We briefly covered part of it when we were actually in lockdown. It was like a lockdown mini project. It's the XS750 triple cylinder head. I'll put a link in the description to when we did the rocker cover. That was just a basic clean up, refurbish and paint. We're actually going to do the cylinder head, which involves the valves, using the valve tool. Clean up all the valves, deburr, have a look at the actual ports, try and clean them out as well, and basically just refurbish the head. But it is just purely a practice, and this is what I've tried to encourage people to do. It's, if you can afford to buy in a cheap little motorbike that doesn't run, maybe a 125 or something small, and just have a go, have a practice, have a tinker, have a play. Because obviously if you're buying it in, it doesn't run, it's an accomplishment and an achievement to actually get it running. So that's what I'm going to be cracking on with today. Alright, so this is what we're going to be working on. I believe it's an XS750, I think 77, 78 era. Not exactly sure which model it's off. As you can see, it's in quite a sorry state. Does need quite a lot of work. It's just a basic 2 valve per cylinder. I'm going to pull all these valves out and start freshening this up, give it a clean out. Again, it did come with the actual follower clamps. Actually missing a nut off there. Unsure if these are even the correct, because these look like lock nuts. I'd say probably that is one of the originals. But we'll start stripping this down, keep it in order, pull all the buckets out and take them out one by one. But this is basically how I sort of like practice in spare time, just by buying things like this and just having a refurb and just having a practice. It was very cheap to pick up. So I've had it some time, I can't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't that much. But that's what I do in spare time, just to, well, when I've got spare time, just to sort of like keep me occupied, keep me learning. If I mess this up, it doesn't matter. If I learn something, it's brilliant. If I break something, I learn from that. But that's what I suggested to a lot of you, is just have a go, have a try. If you don't want to work on your own bike, pick something up cheap. You know, this obviously was just a cylinder head and a rocker cover. Rocker cover's all been cleaned and painted out. But let's start stripping this down, get some tools out on the bench and we'll take this apart. Right, so first thing is take all these nuts off. Again, these are actually numbered, so we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you'll have an I and then an E. So I'm using where the cam chain would go to the left hand side, just so I can put it on the bench. So everything points towards where the cam chain would be. So I'm just going to take these out, put them on the piece of card, and then we'll turn it over and start getting these, we'll start getting these buckets out and then start getting the valves out. Alright, so these are a little tough to get out. It's kind of recessed. Which is quite difficult to get out, especially when they've been in there for so long. So that's the first one out. Go for that one next. Just take it a cylinder at a time. Right, so I've got 5 of the buckets out. There's always one that's really difficult to get out. Actually, looking at these seem to be shim over bucket, so I'd imagine the shim fits in that recess. But yeah, I'm going to leave that to soak. I've poured some oil down it, I've done what I can, but it's definitely in there. But we're going to get the first 2 valves out. So I'll just get my tool that I've used before. I've had some people asking me about where I got this from. This was literally just a cheap set off eBay. I think it's 20-25 quid. But it does the job for what I need, so yeah, we're going to start with these 2 inlet and outlet, or exhaust I should say. So we're going to get the inlet one out first, lay it out with the other parts. Right, so with this tool you obviously got a screw thread that goes through. And then you've got one the other end. And obviously you've got the bar. And then there are different size cups, I suppose. It's just a case, it's a bit big. You want equal pressure. So that one seems fine. And then you need one for the valves, so I'll use the biggest one. Slowly release the pressure. Right, so first comes out the cap. Again, like the Z, When we did the Z650, that was a double spring. There is our valve. And all that's left to get in there is the actual valve stem steel, and then there should be a plate at the bottom. There you go, you can see the seal and the plate at the bottom, so I'll pull those out. Right, so that's what's left of the valve stem seal and the spring. Yeah, that bottom plate does come out. It's very much like the Z. It's just awkward to get out. As I say, I'm going to crack on and remove, well, I'm going to leave, I'll leave that bucket in soak and see if that will free it up. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the other valves and then line them up, and we can start going through the cleaning process. Some of them aren't actually that bad, but it's trying to get rid of all the coke inside. But it gives you some idea of what I practice on, how I learn. So I'll get the other valves out and then we'll go from there. Right, so that's all the valves out. I've lined them all up with the valves and the collets. Some of them aren't as in bad condition as I thought, but I'm still going to give them a good clean up. I'll get as much done as I can. I'll clean the valves up by hand as much as I can, but normally I'd actually put them in the ultrasonic cleaner, but I can't do that until I'm actually relocated in my new location, new garage. I've already started to clean the surfaces up. Again, a lot of this I do all by hand. I'll also go in and start decoking the inlets and outlets. These will be done as well. You can see they're pretty grimy. I'll actually show you the tool I'm actually going to use. So this is the actual set. Different, obviously different sizes of brushes. To actually, let's pull one out. To actually clean. So it works on like a screwdriver handle. So literally can actually start to get down in the ports and give them a good clean out. As I say, there's different sizes. I've just picked the biggest one at the moment, and obviously these are all different grades to actually get in and clean everything. I've got the Dremel on charge at the moment, the battery. the electric one I have is actually better, but I've still got to get the end out because it's snapped. I say these are actually done by hand. You can actually shorten it. So just quick release. Which makes it quite a lot easier. So I'm actually going to get as much done as I can on the cleaning of this. Try and get the fins done if I can. The rest of it will have to continue on in the new garage once that's set up. So there's plenty to clean up. But as I said at the start of the video, this is in between bikes. This is how I learn. This is how I spend my spare time, just picking up small little parts and then working your way up. And it helps me learn. It helps me learn how things come apart, how they go back together, how to clean them, and then I can move on to obviously complete engines, which, like, if anybody follows me, they've seen the Z. That was a complete strip down, but I do little bits like this in between. A lot of the time I just don't film them, but with the amount of comments I've actually had, I thought it was important to actually, this is how I learn, you can do the same, and you learn gradually, and then you move up to obviously the job I did on the Vara. Obviously the booster was just purely a cosmetic. There was no actual engine work apart from the fuel pump. But let's continue on with this and get this cleaned. Right, so that's all the parts cleaned. So they are the original Yamaha valves. Literally, that was just done by hand using Scotch-Brite. Just clean all the way through. Give these a wipe round. These will be oiled before they go back in. That one was the real problem to get out. As you remember, it was actually in this one. There was quite a lot of damage. I don't know if I'll be able to smooth that out or not, but it was quite in there. It had been in there for some years. All I've still got left to do is just remove the valve stem seals. But that's basically how I do most of the valves and everything by hand. Obviously, for these to go back in, I will use a valve lapping tool. Again, picked one off eBay, double-ended with a fine grade and a coarse grade. Again, eBay, I think this was about £6 or £7, but that'll be used to actually lap them back in. Had to get a new one. Well, my other one's actually in storage, so I had no choice to actually do that, so I got another one. They're always handy. So I'm going to move these to one side, and then we'll start doing a bit on the cylinder head. And as I say, we'll continue this on when I'm actually back in and set up in the new location. So as I say, for the cylinder head, I basically just use a green scourer. I do have the red as well. Just do a test area. As you can see the difference. Now she cleans it up quite nice. So it'll be the red and the green that I'll use for around the outside. Tend to use the green on the actual surface, and again, to start with, just where you have got some carbon, I use the red, and then I'll move to the green. Again, everything I do by hand. Obviously when I've got the ultrasonic cleaner, that does give them a clean through first. But as I say, there's a lot to do on this, so I will continue this at a later date. So again, just using the 2 grades. Probably go in there with some fine wet and dry. Obviously I've got this side to do, but when you compare it with that one, so I say that's starting to come up. Obviously there's still a load more to do, but literally I would do the same thing. I'll just work round, try and remove all these marks. As you can see, the clean up on this side compared with all the other bits, it is a slow process, but as I say, it keeps me occupied, and as I say, it helps me learn. I'll probably, well, as I say, with things like this before that I've done that I haven't videoed, I'll literally pick something like this. I'll probably spend maybe a couple of weeks, just the odd 20 minutes here, the odd half hour there, stick the radio on and just clean. But as I say, we will continue this, and I'll show you the finished result. I'd like to get it painted as well, but as I say, it is a lot of cleaning. But say this will be painted black, and then if I can, I'll actually try and polish the edge of the fins. But as I say, just to do what I've done so far has taken a fair amount of time. I just film it in stages. But as I say, I'm going to continue on with this, and then when I'm relocated and all set up, I'll have more of this done, and then we can actually start looking at cleaning out these valves and start decoking inlets and outlets. As you can see, it's pretty bad in there. So like I said, we'll continue that on when I'm actually relocated. The second part of the move, for those who aren't familiar, we've had to do this move in 2 halves. Move out, there's a gap between us moving into the new property, and then move into the new property. that should be happening hopefully in the next couple of days. I've actually been here for about 2.5 weeks. What you've seen has probably been about a week, because I did have extra videos that I could put out. A big thank you to everybody who commented on the moving out, the empty garage. I really appreciate everybody's comments. It means so much. It really does. You know, the support and the help you give is fantastic. I can't say that enough, and I do really truly appreciate it. I haven't. I will be getting to comment on them. I've done a couple, but as I say, it's been an awkward time. But as I say, reading them, I've liked all of them. Big thumbs up to everybody that's supported on that. Also, big thank you to anybody that's gone across to the merchandise shop and purchased t-shirts, stickers, etc. Again, all the proceeds go back into the channel. Hopefully next year will be a better year, more things to come. I want to grow the channel, get more people behind it. The Facebook page is growing daily. There's a link in the description to the Facebook page. More and more people are coming across. We're nearly up to 500 followers now on the Facebook page, which I didn't even dream would happen. The subscriber count is going up every day, which is phenomenal. It really does mean a lot. I am just a basic guy, well, I would say a basic guy in a garage, but when things return to normal, I'm just a normal guy. I learn as I go. I tinker with parts, I tinker with bikes, and the comments I've had, it inspires people to actually have a go, and that's what the cylinder head was primarily about. But we will continue it, we will get it finished. But as I say, timing now, I need to get things together. I've used this garage now for, as I say, a couple of weeks. It's a temporary location. So the next time you see these two bikes, we should be all back together, all the parts, all my boxes, the other two bikes will all be hopefully back in one garage. I will do a quick video of when I actually move into the garage. It's going to take me a while to get it set up, but that will probably be the final video of the year. So join me again in that one. As I said, any comments in the comment box below, I really appreciate all your feedback, all your support, all your comments. There are links to other videos top left and top right, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.